Giant Mine. Introduction of the Giant Mine and Community. The Mine. The Giant Mine is located in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. The Giant Mine was operated between 1948 and 1999. Although underground production continued until 2004 until it was finally shut down. The first gold was poured on June 3rd, 1948. And the mine produced 220,000 kilograms, which is why the mine was the mainstay of the economy. Little did everyone know, arsenic trioxide, a dangerous chemical contamination, was also being produced. The community. The First Nations have been asking the Canadian government to apologize and provide compensation for the mine's long-lasting impacts. Chemical contamination. During the mining operations, a toxic waste called arsenic trioxide was produced. While the mine was open in full operation for 50 years, approximately 237,000 tons of the chemical was created. The government and Canadian agencies wanted the easiest way out of this mess. Therefore, they decided to store the chemical underground to prevent environmental contamination. Careful monitoring of the underground storage process was recommended by the Canadian Public Health Association Special Task Force that examined the arsenic issue in Yellowknife in the 1970s. That recommendation was not followed. Chemical contamination continued. Since arsenic trioxide is soluble in water, it is easy for nearby lakes to be contaminated from the toxic dust. 20,000 tons of arsenic trioxide blew out of the smokestacks, and which ended up in land and water. The lethal dose of this toxic chemical is 80 to 240 milligrams for a Canadian man of average weight. Health effects. The short-term health effects include red or swollen skin, diarrhea, muscle cramps, abdominal pain, nausea, and abnormal heart rhythm. The long-term health effects can cause cancer, since doctors have been considering arsenic trioxide as a carcinogen. It has also been associated with cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and skin lesions. Water access treatment. It is not certain to know how long the mine's arsenic trioxide has been contaminating water, although it is easy to say that nearby water sections have been contaminated since gold has been produced at the mine, which is 50 years. All water that is entered into the giant mine is collected so that the water can be treated. This water is pumped to the surface into one of the 4 tailing ponds, the Northwest Pond. All the water is stored until summer, then is pumped to an on-site water treatment plant which removes arsenic trioxide and other contaminants. Although with the toxic dust being airborne, it is hard to identify which water sections are contaminated over regulatory levels. After the water is treated, it goes to a settling pond, which makes the remaining contaminants fall to the bottom. This way, the environment is less likely to be contaminated. The treated mine water gets put into the Baker Creek, not Yellowknife's water supply. Some thoughts from the locals. Communicating with future generations at Giant Mine. Alfred suggested doing a storybook or a DVD so that the kids will know about the arsenic and how bad the land has been damaged from arsenic. He remembered going to a site tour and learning how contaminated water has seeped into Back Bay and now you can't eat the fish. He suggested gathering clippings about the past. He feels that we need to listen to the elders and do what we can to keep people away from the tailing ponds. He's worried about what will happen if there's an earthquake. Modest suggested that having everything about the mine on display at the site. He reminded everyone that government employees are always being replaced, so it is important to have a good information along the books and videos. Full names of these people are unknown. The government's movement and contributions. So, first, proof that the government has the rights of Indigenous peoples in mind. Joanne Black YKDFN's Director of Treaty Rights and Governance says Canada has to come to the negotiation table to honor their nation-to-nation relationship. Point number 2, Giant Mine Remediation Project. There has been a team created to engage in this project, which was organized by the government. The project has begun to discharge treated effluent, which is our case in mine water, from the giant mine site. The effluent is treated for various metals, including arsenic, before being discharged into Baker Creek. This helps ensure that the fish and flood and food is protected. There's a video, and it's about freezing 200 and 1,000 tons of lethal arsenic dust. It's 4 minutes long, if you want to check it out, and sources. Thanks for listening.